Hello and welcome to this India Today exclusive. I'm Akshata Nandagopal and it's my absolute privilege and honor to be joined here on India Today by Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, Isha Foundation. Namaskaram Sadhguru. The last time we spoke was a couple of months ago when you were riding your bike. I was amazed personally because you were on the bike and you were talking to me crystal clear about your Save Soil movement. 2022 has largely been about this movement for you, Sadhguru. Do you agree with me that time has flown by? This year has flown by for you?
A lot of other things also being done, but those 100 days, we're completely on it. Now we are pursuing with various governments across the world to put it into action, which is working very well. Above all, it has shifted the narrative towards soil. COP26 didn't hardly said anything about soil. COP27, we have observer status and there is a significant space for soil, and 81 nations are in the process of framing soil policies. Many nations have already put economic, investments into soil, including India. So, it's working very well. I have no doubt anymore that world will move in that direction. Only thing is to manage the pace. If the pace goes slowly, in democratic nations, this government may be committed, the next one that comes may slow it down, all this. So we are looking how to keep the pace up. This is why as part of the World Soil Day on 5th, we are once again raising our voices in a big way so that people, the governments across the world understand that this is not a one-time concern, this is a long-term concern.
And it's not a political one.
It is not. It's life.
Yeah. For a person who's watching this broadcast, for a viewer, Sadhguru, as someone like me, leave aside the fact that I'm a journalist. If I was watching the Save Soil movement and I said that, look, I want to contribute, even if it's the smallest way in my backyard, for example, or in my home, how do you think that can actually start?
So you go on fixing your backyard, very cute. But it's not a solution. Even if you had 1,000 acres and you make it really beautiful, it's very good, but it's not a solution. Solution will happen only when globally there are policies which will ensure that soil organic matter is maintained and microbial life is at a certain level of aliveness. Essentially, we are talking about keeping the aliveness of the soil. Because soil is the largest living system in… not only on this planet, in the known universe, it's the largest living system. A handful of soil could have 8 to 10 billion organisms, 50 to 75,000 species, but this is depleting at a pace that you can't imagine. So, if this concern is not addressed globally through the necessary policies, you did something wonderful either in your kitchen garden or in a large farm. I did something wonderful in 10,000 farms. Still, it's not a solution. It's very, very important we need to understand. Putting our hands into the soil and fixing something is wonderful for you. But as a global solution, we need uniform policies across the world. When we say uniform, every nation may implement it in their own way. But the important thing is raising the organic content essentially means we are making sure the microbial life is alive. Because microbial life is not just about food production, it is the foundational life for all of us. 60% of your body is actually microbes, only 40% is parental genetics. You can tell that, when situations are not convenient for you, you can tell them, see, you're only 40%.
Not my fault. I'd like to also address, your journey, your Save Soil journey. While I did see so many videos that I spoke about also of people congratulating you, welcoming the movement, there were some critics that I'd like to put forth their view to get your response. They said, why is Sadhguru embarking on this kind of a journey? What is the messaging you're trying to put out if it's about the environment and it's about Save Soil and Sadhguru is going on a bike burning fuel? What's your response to that, saying that this has nothing to do with the other?
You must put them in the same bucket that you said some leaders are denying the whole thing, they are in the same bucket. But they call themselves environmentalists, unfortunately. All right, tell me by what vehicle I should have gone from London to Kaveri. They would say, why don't you walk? Because one of the journalists suggested, why couldn't you have walked? I said, I thought about it, I knew it was sure death. Then I thought of a bicycle. I knew that is also suicide for this stage of my life. Motorcycle, I could have killed myself many times. You do one thing, you interview somebody, bikers in India, all right, young people, or interview somebody who rides across continents, those who have ridden. Ask them, have they ever stayed on a motorcycle for 100 days? And not just riding, they will just ride for fun. I have done 691 events along the way, moved 3.91 billion people. You think that can be done some other way? So some other journalist suggested you could have travelled by public transport. He wants me to go by DTC or whatever here and do global campaign. They don't know what they're talking about. I don't wish to comment because obviously they have no clue what they're talking about. Anyway, about a motorcycle, some of them are saying, you're driving a luxurious motorcycle. Then I said, you are a fool, you don't know what is a motorcycle. There is no such thing as a luxurious motorcycle. There may be a powerful motorcycle, there may be a fast one. There is no luxurious motorcycle, you ride for 3 days, then tell me what will happen to you. We'll see, 100 days, 30,000 kilometers, 691 events. Let them do it and then talk. Anyway, about emissions, this is Euro 5, the motorcycle is very carefully we chose. And the auto rickshaw that you may be going around in any given city is at least 15 to 20 times more emission than this motorcycle. They never got into an auto rickshaw? A silly moped that you are starting, that is at least 5 to 6 times more than this motorcycle. You never did that?
Yes, I did see some suggestions saying, why not a moped, why not a scooty, why does it have to be a fancy bike? But I think you've answered that now.
I think it's coming from a different place. There is some fire in their belly. Maybe they want to own that motorcycle. They can buy if they want, I'll sell it to them because anyway it came as a donation to me, so I can sell it to them.
But I genuinely want to know, Sadhguru, how's your back after all of that riding?
I'm fine, haven't I?
How is that? What's the secret? Because I know a lot of people are asking, how is it that you rode so much and you're perfectly fine? You went right down to business, I think, once you touched down in India.
Yes, within 2 days I travelled back to UK and then to United States and been campaigning all over. So, this is the thing, this is something those people must listen to. This is very important for them and all the youth, this is very important. See, I'm not trying to project myself as some kind of a superhuman being. This is not about being superhuman. This is about realizing being human is super. If you have to realize that being human is a super kind of situation, one thing is there is scientific basis for you. Charles Darwin told you, you are the peak of evolution on this planet. Hello? You are the flower of evolution. But most people are not feeling like they're on top of the world because of their own mental mess. They make a mess out of themselves because they are miserable, they expect everybody to be miserable. If you learn, is it true that this body that you have is something that you gathered slowly? You're not born like this, I'm saying. And the mind that you have, also you gathered slowly by piling up impressions. So what you have gathered, if you know how to hold it little loose, little away from you, you have no problem. This doesn't mean body is in some superior condition or no, you see I'm not a,
six-pack, abs…
Yeah, I am not any of those things. But if you hold your body and mind little away from you, there is no torture of any kind because there are only 2 kinds of sufferings, physical and mental. Those 2 sufferings I don't have. So what's my problem? Riding 18, 20 hours a day, sometimes 24 hours through the night I've ridden. Still did all the events, not a single event did I cancel on the way, every event. Most of the events I rode straight into the events, straight into the public events, all right? But you wanted me to ride a moped. They don't want anything to happen in the world.
You talk about today's youngsters, you talk about today's society, Sadhguru. Everyone talks about how youngsters are very easily influenced right now by what's happening around them, by TV shows, by what's on social media, all of that. It also has a negative impact largely, like we've been seeing so many stories that have been coming of horrific murders, of what happened, the Aftab Shraddha case and all of that. Where do you think we've gone wrong? Because is this something that you think as a society we need to really address?
There are many issues we need to address. Essentially, we are a society in transition. From a certain type of society we had created, where there was a safety and a protection for everybody, we have broken that. But the new social security has not come. The old social net of social security is broken. The new one has not been created. This is why rapid economic development is very, very important. Because only when that happens we can create that net. Right now, somebody is here, people are falling through the cracks everywhere. Those who fall through the cracks, they do all kinds of things, simply because they don't know anything better. I'm not trying to absolve somebody who does a horrific thing as the names that you mentioned. That's I don't know what to say about that. But essentially there are many, many crimes and confusions and torture. Today I addressed a university and they asked, I went there and I realized the conference is about mental health. Why is mental health an issue when you're a young person? But it seems they are the ones who have maximum mental health issues. And 2021, we've had the highest number of suicides in the world, 132,000 people committing suicide. And many of them below 18 years of age, a few of them below 15 years of age. When 12, 14-year-old children start committing suicide, we must be doing something wrong, there's no question about that, isn't it? It's the education system, the way conducting it, the social imbalances, and people moving from rural atmospheres to urban atmospheres. They do not know how to adjust to that new reality. They're completely total strangers to everything that's happening around them. You must observe. You are a successful girl in a media. When you're going, you just observe how many youth who are walking on the street, not who have no means, who are just doing some menial jobs. Look at their faces. There's utter confusion, they're just bewildered by everything that's happening here. They're somehow earning a living and managing. How are they living? I've visited these places. In one room, 12 to 15 young boys are staying in many places. Not only in this city, in many cities. Because they've come from somewhere. Somewhere they'll go and pack themselves into that place.
And just earn, that's all.
That's all. But initially he comes and thinks he will earn, he will go back home, get married to a local village girl and live happily ever after. This is the dream many of them come with. But once they come to the city, they cannot go back for variety of reasons. For variety of reasons, not necessarily for any one. So many things, they can't go back. So once they don't go back, is there any hope of them ever getting married? There's no hope. Nobody's going to find a bride for them here. They don't want to go back there. These accommodations are like this. At least in the village, even if you stayed in a hut, there was some dignity, something. Here there is nothing, you're treated like a commodity around. Some people may find good places, but a large number of them are not. In this, many troubles are there, human struggles are there. So when a society is in transition, we must always do the transition very quickly. If you go on transiting over 50 years, one whole generation or two generations will suffer immensely. Unfortunately, we are in it more. For example, to put it very simply, we are a developing nation. How long we've been a developing nation? We are developing. When will we become developed? It's very important. We must quickly get there. Full throttle we must get there so that everybody finds their place and some kind of social security net will be there. This needs to happen very quickly. For every economic step that you take, there are people who are continuously arguing against it. They're not the real problem, they're a little bit of impediment. Maybe some checks and balances are needed, you can't go just full throttle, that is also there. I am not trying to find fault with anybody, but this is a responsibility we have as a nation. Our populations who have lived in the safety and security of villages and small towns and family enclosures, now they're all out. Young boys and girls are out. They really still don't know how to fend for themselves, how to behave with the opposite gender without getting tangled up, how to, look at people in a certain way. This is not there, there's no exposure like that.
Is it a westernization? Is that the problem? That, we're becoming more westernized. It's not something we're used to. And there's this whole debate over live-in relationships, whether India is ready for something like that. In this case, it's led to a lot of people saying, see, this is why you shouldn't have live-in relationships.
See, there are
you should be with your family.
Many unaddressed things of natural things that are there in a human being are not addressed in the country. Well, there was no live-in relationship necessary because anyway you were getting married when you were 16 and there was no problem because by the time you were 20 you had 2 or 3 children and you are full on into life, all right? Whatever that life you think it is. But today everybody has to get educated, everything is postponed. But natural processes of one's physical and mental maturity, hormonal influence on oneself, these things have not changed, they're still happening at the same time. But socially everything has changed. If we do not address these things, it'll all go wild, okay? It's very important that at least we must address it. Can we fix it? Maybe not right away. Nobody has managed to fix it anywhere in the world absolutely, all right? But we must address it. If you start addressing it, at least the number of people who fall through those cracks could be greatly minimized.
There are many people also, and I wonder if you agree with this, Sadhguru, that religion now is being used as a weapon of sorts to polarize,
Always. What is
to
now?
target.
Always it's been used as a weapon.
I'll give you a few examples.
No, always I'm saying. For over 2000 years it's been used as a weapon.
And how do you stop that then? Because right now, see, it's become a political rallying point, it's become a social one
You're
as well.
talking only about India or the world?
About India, let's focus on India.
I'm saying across the world, religion has always been used as a weapon. And religions have conquered nations, religions have conquered cultures, religions have erased cultures, religions have established themselves as powerful entities. Nothing new about it. Why is it so new?
But how do you combat it then? Because it's leading to a lot of poison in the society. You see terms like love jihad coming up, even in this kind of a case or even otherwise. You see terms like love jihad coming up. There's a case in Kerala where there are allegations that a church is stalling development of a port. How do you kind of draw the line here and say that this is where we stop religion from becoming a poisonous tool?
See, specific incidents if you take like that, you know the reality of those incidents. I don't have to educate you. You are the journalist, you know probably more about it than I know. So leave those specific situations. As a phenomena, you're looking at it, you must understand aggression of religious forces being on an aggressive mode is not today's thing. Have you forgotten our history? For over 1,000 years we've been ravaged by religious aggression. I'm not trying to say that this happened, so we must do something else. That's not the point. The point is, you said religion is being weaponized. Religion has always been a weapon. So, when you have a docile population which does not know how to weaponize their identity, now they will get completely taken. Even Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court has made a statement, this is a national security issue. All right, it's not me saying that or anybody saying. So when there is a national security issue, should we address it or no? How do we address it? You think everything can be addressed by the government alone? I don't think so. People also have to address it. How?
As a society we wake up?
We have to wake up, otherwise there will be issues. Any society, if demographics change too rapidly, it will lead to problems, serious problems, not only here, anywhere. Civil wars have happened in Lebanon and other places. Why? Demographics changing too quickly. And civil wars will happen, those nations have gone down so badly. What were beautiful nations at one time, today they're ruins, simply because of this. We don't want to go there for sure. So in one generation, if you change the demographics too rapidly, this will happen to India, believe me. I must tell you this. I was inquiring through some people in US administration who are important people who make decisions. Why is it that you're always supporting our neighbor, though it is a collapsing situation and all the people that are wanted by you are in that country, but you're always supporting them, not supporting India, why? So they told me, Sadhguru, this is not today's thing. In 1947, 1948, when we wanted to know what is happening after independence, what's going to happen to the subcontinent. When we inquired, we had no access to the world. It's the British who had the access to the world. Always when it came to Asia, many parts of Africa, we always consulted the British because they were everywhere for the last 2 centuries. We were not anywhere, we were just here, remote. America was a remote place with 2 big oceans on either side. So we naturally asked them. So they always gave this thing, and we also agreed that with that view. Because there is only one religion in the other country, they will prosper and succeed because they can focus on something. India will never succeed because it is too many multiples. It's a kaleidoscope, it's nice to look at, but they will never make it, it's going to be a total disaster, this country. So there is no point putting your money on them, they're no use. So that continued actively till 1967. After that, there has been little reconsideration here and there, but generally in the political mindset of those nations, they always believed our neighbors will succeed and we will anyway kill ourselves with our complexity of our existence. We are proving otherwise today. Now slowly their opinion is beginning to change. So you must understand this, that diversity is not to be exploited. Diversity is to be enjoyed, all right? Diversity means you look different, I look different, you do something different, I do something different. We enjoy the differences. Slowly I want you to become like me. Don't grow a beard, okay?
I'll try not to.
So that would be a disaster, but that is the disaster that is being caused by certain people who don't understand the value of diversity, value of everybody, a whole mixture of people being here and still being able to be okay with each other. So when that is not valued, certain problems will come. It's very important, I think it's very, very significant that Supreme Court said what it said, because it is not a question of religion, it is a question of national security, changing demographics.
I want to focus on one more aspect. It's something that made headlines recently, Sadhguru. I'm not sure if you saw it, but the images of your beautiful Isha Foundation was all over the news of the Adi Yogi.
You were also there.
I visited, it's a beautiful structure.
Just like you, others were also visiting.
But were you concerned? Well, because I know, I've been there, I know anyone can enter, anyone can visit that beautiful center. So were you concerned when you saw what happened?
This is what I'm telling you. This concern is very deep inside everybody in India. Whether you people in Delhi acknowledge it or not, people who live in the country, these concerns are deep because somebody believes absolutely that this is wrong, it should not exist, all right? So, we are in a culture where if there are 5 people in the family, 5 people are worshipping 5 different gods and we have no issue with them. Is it happening in your own family also? Somebody will be worshipping this god, somebody that god, no problem. That's why we keep 2 dozen, so that whoever can choose whatever you want, it's okay. This is total democratization of religion, you can worship whatever kind you want. So when this is on all the time, when something gets little more active than just in their thought process, naturally there'll be deep concern. You should see millions of messages from across the world that's coming to me after they saw that picture. I said, relax, you may become… you suddenly woke up. We've always been alert to this. And can somebody cause damage? Maybe they can. You have not counted how many death threats come to me on a, monthly basis. Well, will they be successful? Till now they have not been successful, I am the proof. But they could succeed. For what? Have I abused somebody? No. Have I spoken about their religion, anybody's religion? No. But even if you ask a question if it is wrong, in my fundamental ethos of life and this culture's ethos, a question is never wrong, only an answer can be wrong.
But it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Sadhguru, for joining us here on India Today. Thank you very much, and congratulations on your Save Soil movement and all of the success that it's garnered so far.
Not my success, it's all the people.
The world's success.
Millions of people worked on it, but they wouldn't work on it unless I put my life on the string. Till then they wouldn't, because last 30 years I've been talking about it. They slept on it. Once they saw Sadhguru could kill himself doing this, then everybody stood up. Thank you.
That's what I think. Thank you so much, Sadhguru. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.